Kamusta? At ito ay Makilala. Ako si Maria.
At ako si Rochelle.
You know, Christina wants us to speak Tagalog for this part. Kaya ba natin?
Oo naman. Teka, galing ka sa bakasyon, di ba?
Oo, kakagaling lang namin sa Punta Cana. Kasama ko si Roger. Bumalik kami kagabi. Kayo ni Johnny, anong ginawa niyo this week?
Hindi ko siya nakita.
Oo.
Busy ako sa trabaho, sa Unipro, at sa Chinese class.
Sa Chinese class?
Oo.
Saan?
Sa Chinatown.
Oh, kailangan ko din yun. Cantonese si Roger.
Oo.
Oo.
Time out. What just happened here? I don't know if there's hope for these two. What do you think, Christina?
I think we need some kind of intervention, right? Welcome to Makilala. My name is Christina Pastor, and I'm joined by my co-hosts, Maria Cruz Lee, Rochelle Ocampo, and Jen Ferrer. For today, our episode will be on language and culture, specifically our complicated relationship with Tagalog. Our guests today, we have the founder and school director of the Filipino School of New York and New Jersey, Venessa Manzano.
Thank you.
Hi, Venessa. Welcome to Makilala.
Musta. Thank you for having us.
Vanessa comes with very powerful backup. Her name is Isa Yu. She is 6 years old. She is Filipino-Korean. She's biracial. Hi, Isa. Welcome to Makilala.
Kumusta?
Mabuti. Anyway, Vanessa, in this table are four different ladies with four different relationships toward Tagalog. I speak Tagalog very fluently because I came here to the United States as an adult. However, Maria was born in the Philippines, but she learned to speak English there. Maria, tell us your story.
I learned when I came over here when I was 7. I learned how to speak Tagalog here. But then I grew up not really having, full interaction with a whole bunch of Filipinos. I never really needed to use it that much. I mean, we used it at home. But I mean, in my line of work now, there are hardly any Filipinos, so I don't really get to practice. But every time I do have to practice it, anytime I have interaction with, the community, then it comes out.
That's right.
You know?
And Rochelle too. Rochelle was born in the United States. She started learning Tagalog, but somewhere along the way she lost it. She lost the language.
My parents told me that my first language was Tagalog.
Really?
And I had to, when I entered kindergarten, my main language was Tagalog. And I actually had to go to speech class until I was 4th grade to learn English without a Filipino accent.
Wow.
So throughout the whole time, I thought that I was different because, and I thought that I was almost like the minority because I knew 2 languges and English was my second. But now I don't even know Tagalog.
We'll talk about that later. And to my right is Jen, who also has a unique experience with Tagalog. Jen is married to an American. She has 4 children. And for some reason, she did not teach Tagalog to any of her kids. So, Jen, tell us why we should not call you a bad Filipino mother. Sobra.
Wow. Okay, how do I answer that? Well, if the other half doesn't speak Tagalog, it's hard. It's not like when you go to school. Plus, I live in a community where there are probably just 1 or 2 Filipinos. And it's hard for me enough to teach my kids any language, to add another language to that, but they'll never use. So for me, it's not really that important. Like when you call customer service, it's not like you hear somebody say, press to para sa Tagalog, pindutin ng numero 2. Right?
Maybe there should be one like that. Anyway, Vanessa, you've heard our 4 different experiences. Are these common among Filipino American families?
Well, if you define Filipino Americans, there are different subgroups. So for, let's say, Maria's case, she immigrated to the U.S. at a young age.
At 7, I think, right?
At 7, and you had, assuming, you spoke Tagalog back in the Philippines, right?
I primarily spoke English in the Philippines, and I learned Tagalog here.
Okay.
And she said that she only spoke Tagalog to the maid, to the yaya, right?
For the most part,
Yeah, for the most
I
part,
had a yaya there because my parents came to the U.S. before me. So I was living with my uncle and aunt, and I mean, I had a yaya who would only speak to me in Tagalog, and then my uncle and aunt would speak to me in English. And then in school, I went to, this Catholic school in Antipolo, right? They would teach us English
Right.
and Tagalog, but more so English.
So that's one experience, Vanessa.
Yeah, so I guess Filipino Americans around our age, there are some that did immigrate at a young age speaking Tagalog, and then somehow they had to assimilate to the American culture. Either that, their parents, wanted them to just speak English solely also, and because of that, they lost the Tagalog language. They never spoke it again. And then there are those born and raised.
My parents were pretty adamant about you learn Tagalog growing up.
Okay.
Right? But then the funny thing is, living in New York, right, I speak Spanish better than Tagalog at this point.
Okay.
You know?
Why do you speak Spanish better?
I mean, well, yeah.
Honest.
Honest. Okay, well, I guess it started in high school because I was dating this like half Colombian, half Nicaraguan guy, and like his parents only spoke Spanish. And then now, like, I'm married to, a full Cantonese man, and his parents only speak Spanish. I mean, Spanish. Cantonese, right? We're in New York, not surprising.
I know.
So yeah, like, I learned Spanish then, and now I'm, like, starting to learn pieces of Cantonese.
Also, you're learning the language based on your heart. Based like.
Oh, that's such a romantic way to put it.
So Vanessa, how does your school help young Filipino Americans, get connected with Tagalog?
Okay. Well, we have various programs. For the children around Isa's age, we have a children's language and cultural program. So it's an 8-week program focused on learning the basics of Tagalog, your greetings, colors, numbers, and then in addition to that, they learn little aspects of Philippine culture. So they learn mano po, they learn about Christmas in the Philippines.
Wait, what's mano po for the people that don't know what that is?
So, do you know?
Explain what mano po.
Christina.
Isa, what is mano po?
Do you remember? No. But do you know how to do it? Do you know
do it to me.
You could do it.
Okay, you're supposed to get my hand, right? And put it to your head. It's a sign. It's a sign of. It's a sign of respect. I have to explain. It's a sign of respect. So young Filipinos usually do that to their elders, usually to their grandparents. If you're greeting them for the first time, but much of that is lost. It's very traditional. Much of that is lost.
Actually, that one's one thing I kept.
Oh, really?
My kids don't speak Tagalog, but they bless the hand when they see my mom, my dad, my brothers. They do that. That's one thing.
Do you say bless the hand?
Bless.
Bless the hand. I'm like, oh.
But they don't do that to your in-laws, right? Do they?
No, they
okay.
don't.
Okay.
Actually, they'll be surprised if I say, what are you doing?
So Isa, give us a little sample of the Tagalog words that you know.
Pasko, Christmas, habo, turkey.
Oh my God, it's so holidayish. Did you learn Tagalog because you wanted to learn it, or did your mom kind of push you into it?
Well, so let's say someone is Filipino and they don't know English, and I need to answer back in Filipino so they know what I'm saying.
So you really wanted to learn Tagalog? Okay. Are you also learning Korean language?
Same with Korean.
So Vanessa, isn't that kind of complicated for a 6-year-old to learn 2 languages?
Honestly, at this young age, they can absorb anything. It's the best time to actually teach them multiple languages.
I was actually talking to Venessa earlier, asking her, isn't there, I guess, a viewpoint from parents thinking that, oh, I don't want to confuse my child with multiple languages because they're already having trouble with one. How am I going to expect them to learn 2? Or like with our case, our children will be learning 3. So what do you say about that?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of research out there nowadays, and a lot of early learner schools that have other languages like Spanish and Chinese. So, I mean, pretty much you just show that to them and say, you know what, there are actually more benefits to learning another language as a child as opposed to just learning English and not teaching them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How do you teach, let's say, a school-age kid? What's your teaching style? Do you do them by visuals, or how do they know how to learn how to speak Tagalog?
So for the kids, what we do is topic-based. Each day we have a different topic. So let's say one day will be on yung pamilya ko. So they'll learn about mga magulang, mga kapatid, mga lola. So, you know, mothers, siblings, grandparents, they learn the words. So we go over vocabulary. After that, we have them recite. And depending on their age level, if they can actually write, we have them do flashcards and draw pictures, so that way, you know, they will remember, and they can also bring the cards home to practice with the parents. And then we also do an arts and crafts activity, and if not that, it's either a song or a game, just so that they can, you know, move around, and that way it's easy for them to remember.
What is your demographics?
For
How old are the kids before they can enroll in your school?
What race?
So pretty much those that do enroll are around, I'm going to say 4 to 7. That's the majority. And they probably are the eldest of their siblings. And their parents are the ones that are, you know, Filipino American. They don't know how to speak Tagalog.
Parents don't know.
Or very little, or they lost it while growing up. And they're the ones that want their children to reconnect with the language. So in a way, when they do bring their kids to the class, the parents also learn just by listening. And then we have volunteers. We ask them to engage the parents sometimes. So, you know, we prepare in advance on how we're going to interact with the parents as well as the students and, you know, get everyone working.
How big are the classes?
We have a maximum of 12, just because, you know, it's difficult beyond that with one teacher.
So does it mean that Rochelle and Maria have to wait for them to have children to go to the class to learn how to speak Tagalog?
Actually, no. No.
It's too late.
I think they have a class for adults too, right?
We do.
They have a class.
Yes.
So,
We're learning Cantonese.
Tell me.
Okay, so we actually, this is timely because we do have adult Tagalog classes starting next week at 2 sites. One in Manhattan, Thursday evenings, and then one in Woodside, Queens, Saturday afternoons. Our instructor is Agnes Bing Magtoto. She is an expert in Tagalog, so that is her profession. And she teaches full-time in NYU.
Oh, cool.
So that course is actually offered to NYU students, in case you didn't know that. But she also works for the Filipino school, and you know, there are a lot of people on the waiting list. So once the classes...
For the adults or for the kids?
For the adults.
Oh, for the adults.
Actually. And the people that enroll, not just Filipinos, non-Filipinos.
Non-Filipinos. Usually married to Filipinos?
Yeah, that's pretty
That's
much
the main
that's the
motivation
case.
why they would want to learn how to speak Tagalog?
Their partners or, you know, significant other is Filipino. They want to travel to the Philippines is another one.
Is this a fairly new concept? Forgive me for not knowing. If what was there before the Filipino school? How long have you been open? And before that, because I'm asking, because my husband, right, when he was a kid, it was mandatory. He had to go to Chinese school and learn Cantonese, how to read, write, speak it, you know. Right. And I mean, nowadays, even my cousins-in-law send all their kids to Chinese school, and it's mandatory. How come?
And these Chinese schools are free, Vanessa.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, is there a difference between those schools and your school?
And is there future plans to be that kind of you know, Tagalog is this, we need to do this, you know?
Well, pretty much. I grew up in Boston, so Boston has Eskwelahan Pilipino. That is the longest running Filipino school, similar to Chinese schools and Korean schools of its kind in the U.S. So I was a student there, along with all of the other Filipino kids in the community that were able to go. And I picked up a lot of, you know, what I learned there, as well as at home. And then coming here, you know, I worked in the Filipino community, got a sense of what the needs are, and then I started having my own family a few years ago, and you know, still connected to the Filipino community, and I still have the love for, you know, the culture and the people. I was like, where's the school? You know, like you said, I have friends that are Chinese. They're taking their kids already to Chinese school. Or
so that's how the school started. You were looking for your own school. Yeah, there's a big need.
So there's a huge need.
That's
Sample right here.
Yeah. So I mean, before
two potential students there.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, seriously.
And actually, one of the people in Unipro, Iris Zalun, is actually one of the students at the Philippine school. So
the Philippine school?
Yeah. So she's actually had some experience with it.
Oh, okay.
So the program is 8 weeks, you said earlier?
8 weeks.
So at the 8th week, what do they expect to learn? A song? Do you have conversational? Or really?
Yep. So for an
Is it
example,
an extensive, like every once a week or twice a week? Or
it's once a week.
Once a week.
Yeah, depending on the teacher's availability. It's usually on the weekends, and it's offered during the fall and the spring.
Let's ask Isa. Isa, what are you learning in the Filipino School of New York and New Jersey, aside from language?
Well, I'll show you what I made. We made polvoron, we made
Oh, wow, I love that.
paroles,
Parole, Christmas lanterns, okay.
and we made ahas.
You can make snakes?
Yeah,
Snakes?
not real
I
ones.
forgot about that.
Snake by paper snakes, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So you make arts and crafts. What else did you learn? Did you learn
Dances?
no, games, indigenous games? Like I think we have some slides of these indigenous games, right? Like tumbang preso. Did you learn those things?
Do you remember?
Or patintero?
Or luksong tinik?
Or
Maybe
right?
not by name.
Huh?
Not by name. Maybe not by name.
What else did you learn, Isa? Tell us.
Not very much. It's been a long time, so
Oh, okay. Are you one of the best students in the school?
one.
One of them.
Is she? How do you grade her? Does she get a medal or something?
They get certificates at
They
the
get
end,
certificates?
and
Okay.
little gifts. I think gift did I give you? Did I give you a polvoron maker?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So before she enrolled, she didn't know Tagalog, and now she speaks Tagalog. Is that her level of progress?
It depends. Well, for Isa, did you speak Tagalog?
Or was she
I've
already
taught a
speaking
lot of
Tagalog?
kids. A little bit, because I know her mom is really good. Her mom is Filipina.
Her mom is
and
Filipina and her
she's
father
the
is
one-
Korean.
yes. So just my conversations with her mom, I know her mom is really the one, you know, encouraging her to participate.
That's great. Yeah.
And she also, you did a Filipino dance too, right?
What
there a
kind?
song?
Bulaklak.
Oh,
Bulaklak.
Which
Oh,
means flower?
Oh yeah, that's right.
I
And you
remember
also
that.
and Tita Jen is asking about Filipino songs.
Yeah, is there a Filipino song that you could share with us?
Bahay kubo.
Sure.
Can we do like
We'll
a little
listen to
clip?
it.
Bahay kubo, kahit munti, ang halaman doon ay sari-sari. Singkama sa tarong, sigarilyas at mani, sitaw, pataw, patani.
Wow. Oh my God.
Okay, you too.
Match that. Okay, match that.
I only know Filipino love songs. Like,
Okay, sample.
So,
No, I don't even
I
know.
was singing it to our makeup artist, the Victor.
Dahil sa'yo? You mean dahil sa'yo?
Parang di ko yata kaya. Pag sa buhay ko'y wala ka.
what does it mean?
But just as there goes the song. Anyway, the only Tagalog that I know, like by heart, is hindi ako marunong mag-Tagalog, pero nakakaintindi.
Okay.
Which is a good one-liner.
Yeah.
If anyone else wants to learn
So
Tagalog.
translate it to those who...
It means that I understand Tagalog, but I don't know how to speak. So that it's been a struggle, and I've been
That's
trying to
right.
figure out what other resources out there that I can go to, because I am on a budget, aka I'm only looking for free.
Yep.
So I guess until then,
Are you on Groupon? Vanessa, is your school on Groupon?
Not yet. I actually thought about that.
so what are
Not
the
there yet.
obstacles? What are the barriers of you getting to that level, so that we can try to get to that level, get to free classes, getting it to be more in more places other than just New York and New Jersey.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's bandwidth and funding. So the plan is, when I started the school, I was the only teacher, and I started in Jersey City. And then as it expanded, you know, the demand grew also. And that's when I started hiring instructors for the children's program and then the adult program. And so for the adult program, for example, we're also hiring an instructor for New Jersey, because we have a big waiting list for that site.
Are instructors paid
They're
employees?
paid.
They are paid.
They're all
Adult,
paid.
okay.
Yeah. So we've gotten to that point. It's been 3 years since the founding.
That's great.
So at this point, my goal was to hire paid staff. So we're on track. We're also trying to hire. So we have an instructor for the children's program in Woodside. I'm in the process of securing an instructor for Jersey City. And now that I live in Bergen County in New Jersey, I'm going to focus on that area myself. I'm going to grow that catchment area. So the reason why I'm targeting Bergen County, Jersey City, Woodside, Queens, Manhattan is because the need is there, and we actually did research and a needs assessment. So we're actually responding to everyone's needs.
Do you have a goal or an objective, like I would like to see a Filipino language and culture school that would be acceptable in the mainstream and that would be accredited academically? Is that somewhere in the horizon or something?
Our ultimate goal is to be actually nationwide. I'm thinking about this. So we are a nonprofit. I had a struggle between for-profit and nonprofit, just because working in the Filipino community of nonprofits, everyone's fighting for funding. Fundraising is difficult because you're raising money from the same people.
Correct.
So how do you run it like a business but stay nonprofit? So that's our mentality to sustain and grow. Ultimately, I would like to franchise the school.
That's a great idea.
Can you franchise a nonprofit? That's a thing.
Well, we can also, if it gets to that point, we might be able to change our status from nonprofit to.
Have you considered partnering with like New York Public Library or you know, all those like the CUNY schools? So maybe doing an offshoot of, you know, a certain one time. Here's a Filipino class, and then kind of bringing that back, and then partnering with those community orgs that support, right? So then the mainstream will know. And then maybe you can use it as leverage to garner more funding from grants or something.
Yeah.
I mean, other things to consider.
Definitely. I mean, that's an option. So right now we're not set on like how we're going to do it. We're just looking to see what's out there right now and just observing. We're just, you know, looking to see. And by the time we get there, we're going to try different things. We're open to partnerships.
How would they find you? Let's say, you know.
Oh, the school?
No, the partnerships.
Oh, the partnerships.
Yeah, like if somebody watching this is like, hey, that sounds like a cool, you know, nonprofit to work with. How do they find you?
Well, they can find us. We're on the internet. We have a website, www.filschool, so FIL school-nynj.org. We have a Facebook group page. We don't have Twitter yet. We have LinkedIn.
You have LinkedIn. You have Twitter. Do you have any Twitter?
No Twitter yet.
No Twitter yet.
But they're on
Okay.
Facebook and they have a website.
Facebook and website, definitely.
I think
Very
that all
active
covered.
Okay, great. That's nice. Any? Would you like to say something else, Isa? Because we are being told to wrap up. Do you wanna? Do you wanna greet your mom and your dad, who I understand are in Puerto Rico? Are they in Puerto Rico right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. So you wanna say hello? You wanna say hello to them?
I know how to. Okay, let's just practice on the meeting.
Yeah, but
Okay.
let's just do it quickly because I see the signs. Say hello or say hello to your Lolo and Lola. They're here in the studio. Okay, great.
Okay. Say magandang hapon.
Magandang hapon. Good
Magandang
afternoon.
hapon. Kumusta po kayo?
Very good. Great. Thank you
That's
so
awesome.
much. We'd
Thank
like to
you.
thank Vanessa and Isa for joining us in the studio right now. And you want to say something else? Aside from magandang hapon?
Do you talk to your friends Tagalog?
Some. But not
Some,
all.
but not all. Do you have Filipino friends, by the way?
Yeah.
And do you talk in Tagalog to them?
So am I a bad mother for not teaching my kids Tagalog? No, all
I never heard
right.
that.
Never heard that.
Way to teach
Wow.
Isa,
Sorry,
good
yeah.
job.
Good job, Isa.
Yay!
So good.
Ang galing.
So, next, for the next episode, we are going to have something very timely. We're going to talk about Philippine politics and the pork barrel scandal. We are going to have Rochelle. We're going to accompany Rochelle on her trip to the Philippines, where she and other Filipino American leaders walked the corridors of power. Oh my God! So
Or you could just say it was my trip to the Philippines.
yeah, so they are going to discuss that issue. So thank you so much for watching Makilala. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, Vanessa. Thanks,
Thank
Isa.
you.
Nice one.
That was fun.
Good job, Isa.
Yay.
Done.
Kumusta? Agad ko, Makilala. Ako si Maria. At ako sa... Si!